Okay, Leslie, I have 9 a.m. Do you want to give him a
Let's
couple
get,
more minutes?
I, I think they can come in and not miss much, so we can get started.
Okay, all righty. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our quarterly meeting. Happy May 1st. It's here. I believe someone said we had 19 more days of school left. I'm not counting, but hey, happy May 1st. We always try and start our meetings off with introduction, just in case there's someone new that's joining us and don't know who we are. So I'm going to get that kicked off and I'm going to popcorn it after I'm done. I'm Karen Ball Johnson. I'm Senior Manager of Special Populations in Memphis Shelby County Schools. And I am going to popcorn it to Martina.
Good morning. I am Martina Stump. I am the Director of Education at the Department of Children's Services. And I'm going to pass it off to Scott.
I've been over here multiple times before and extended first block, and they just told me to stay here until I switch.
Hey, good morning.
Well, no,
I
you
think
can't do that. No,
somebody, hang on one second. There we go. Good morning. Scott Ennemer, Senior Director for IDEA and Non-Traditional Education Programs in Federal Programs and Oversight. And I'll pass it over to Brian.
Good morning. I just logged in. I didn't hear what the request was. I was talking to a student just then. So
Oh, just introductions.
am I just saying, hey, Brian Douglas, Cotton County Schools, good to see everyone.
I'll go next. I'm Leslie Watson, the Executive Secretary for this council, and I also work with the NEP team for neglected and delinquent programs. And I will pass to Susie. She may actually have stepped out. I know she's absent for part of the meeting. I'll pass to Mamadou.
Hello, good morning. I'm Mamadou Keda with Bartlett City Schools. I'm glad to be here again, seeing everyone.
I am Sharon Lindsay. I'm a former alternative school principal of 10 years, and I just recently transferred to the state, and I serve as the manager of IDA data support.
I mean, I would be quoted it.
Good morning, Josiah. We were just doing introductions. If you want to jump in and introduce yourself, that would be great.
Right here.
Oh, hi, good morning. Can y'all see me?
Yes.
Oh, you can't. Okay, great. Hi, good morning. I'm Josiah Holland. Sorry, I'm late. Running a school is hard. I'm the director of the Alternative Learning Center in Williamson County, Tennessee, in Franklin. And also the coordinator for education in the Williamson County Juvenile Detention Center. So it's my 7th year here. Happy to be here. It's nice to see everybody. Happy Principal's Day to anybody who celebrates. I've got a plate of brownies next to me that somebody gave me today.
Okay, Leslie, I think that takes care of everyone, right? Okay. All right. So the next thing up is for us to review and approve the minutes from February's meeting. I know that those minutes were sent out to you. I'm hoping that everyone has had an opportunity to read those. If not, we can take a few minutes to review them before we approve them. Do we need a review?
I make a motion to accept.
I second that motion.
I like that song, Sharon. So it's a good choice there. So
That was actually in my head, and I was about to start singing it. You were reading my mind.
It's in my head, and that song is rolling through there right now. So
yeah, it will be stuck in my head all day. All right, so at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Leslie for updates from the field.
morning. I want to welcome you guys all to our final council meeting of the year. I can't believe we made it here so far. I want to say thank you and just do a quick recap of what we accomplished this past year. When I started, I was pretty overwhelmed. There were empty seats on the council, and I had never led anything like this. So that part was overwhelming. The report was overwhelming. So I'd just like to say that since we started, we've filled the council, we've elected officers, we've worked together to completely revise the ALTED survey, created a new TA guide, and created a new transition plan for LEAs to use. So I'm thrilled with the progress that we made, and I really appreciate everybody's input in that. I want to take a few minutes for each of you to share any thoughts that you have, concerns that you have, but also to add anything that you'd like the council to focus on next year. So any topics, I know TA is a topic, but if you have specifics on the types of TA, I think that would be great. And I will start by passing it to Brian.
What comes off the top of my head is that that I know that a big project the group took on when we were doing the recognitions is that we wanted all alternative schools to be more restorative than punitive, to get the message out about. I think all of us agree that that's definitely the best way to run such a school, and I think most people do, but there are pockets of that other kind of philosophy out there, and it does more damage than it's helpful.
Josiah, I'll pass to you.
Awesome. I don't have much to add. It's been a great year, and I appreciate having input and being able to participate. No new updates for us in our world. No big items of concern. I think we're all watching what the state legislature does and have concerns about where money's going and things like that, as opposed in regards to the voucher program, and then the Department of Ed nationally, how that impacts everything from students with disabilities and our kind of work. We've got local concerns with the school board we have, but we're weathering all of it, and trying to make sure all of our positions get funded and all those things. But just my hope is that public ed just stays at the forefront of what's important in our community and our state and our country. And that programs like ours just get the attention that they deserve, so we can keep serving kids who need us. But our programming stuff is in good shape. We're in the middle of a building project. They potentially start building in September, so we're excited about that. We're in a really tiny building, and it would help us improve our programming and our service a lot. So that's all I got today.
That's an exciting year coming up for that. That's awesome. Mama dear?
I want to thank you for your leadership. You've done a great job of reviving and bringing us all together again to move forward with supporting students in the alternative education. I think I want to echo what Brian has indicated about going back to revisiting what we had, which was a very good plan of making sure that all alternative schools are restorative. If we can focus on that next year, I think now that, the rebuilding is completed and you have everybody on that confirmed to be here on this advisory board, we have to have a focus point. And one of the best things we can do is to support our schools and making all programs and making sure that they are running and following the standards and supporting students instead of being punitive. I think that would be, from my perspective, a great place to be. We have in Bartlett benefited from that because it has helped us restructure our alternative program in a way that, even our community members like it and students benefiting from it. And it has really impacted our community greatly. So I think that would be a great focus. And I agree with what Brian's suggestion.
Karen?
I'm sorry, Leslie, did you call my name?
Yes. Do you have any things that you'd like to share or any focuses you'd like to add for next year?
No, I've told you from the jump, I've been out of alternative school for a while, but I still definitely care about what's going on with alternative ed and definitely would like to continue to work to make it better. I echo everything that has been said. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for, again, bringing us back together. This is a very critical piece of work that I think is often overlooked. So I just appreciate you bringing it back to the forefront of those who are making decisions.
Martina?
Well, I've made it 2 years at DCS, so I think that's a that's a
an
plus.
accomplishment.
Yeah, that's an accomplishment. So I don't know if you guys are aware, DCS has gone under a reorganization. We went from 12 regions down to 6. And so your ed specialist that was or could be continued assigned to your area, your county, may have changed due to this. So now our regions line up to the judicial regions. And so I had to move around my ed specialists and make sure that we had all the counties covered. So if you're not sure who your ed specialist is, please let me know and I can make sure that you get their contact information. But that's probably the biggest change that we've had in our DCS education. Plus, we're up to now 40 schools in our LEA across the state. So we've added 2 more schools in our LEA and now we're up to 40. So, in my understanding, there's more to come. So that's pretty much all that's happening with DCS education. And I appreciate how you guys support our students in your districts. I know a lot of our students, once they come out of our residential facilities, then are being placed in alternative schools to help transition them back into a full-blown public high school. And so I really appreciate the way that that's being handled and assisting our students to transition back into the public school system. So thank you.
Martina. Susie?
Good morning. I'm here. Josiah was the one who asked me to consider joining as a parent. And so my son was a student at the alternative school in our county. He is now a graduate and high school graduate and working in landscaping and in the community. But I would just say I also work as an instructional coach. And so being a part of this and my attendance has not been what I wanted it to be this year, just because I sometimes get pulled away during the school day, as many of you do. But hearing how it, I feel like I can be an ambassador to teachers in the gen ed setting and at the public schools to let them know, not just how to support students who come from the alternative school, but also to learn the best practices that a lot of you are implementing. And I appreciate that. I shared with Josiah, I do something with students where I get together with small groups and ask them, what's our school doing well and what can we do better? And a student who had come out of the alternative school mentioned in the circle things that happen at the alternative school that don't happen at our school that we could do. And so when we talk about restorative practices in the alternative school, my dream is that restorative practices begin happening in the larger public schools as well. And you are ambassadors for that. And so I appreciate the work that all of you have done this year.
I love that insight, and I love the perspective that you have from both sides as a teacher and a parent. I think that's so important to have. Thank you all for sharing that. And I know that Sharon's had to step away for a few minutes, so I'm going to move forward and do some quick updates. The first update is on council reappointments, and I've reached out to Tyler Sloan, and I finally heard back from him this morning. There are, I believe, 5 reappointments that expired in December due to the legislative session, and now they're remodeling their offices. There's been a delay, but he assures me that he is on top of it now, and within the next couple of weeks, he'll be sending out emails with some questions to redo those appointments. But everyone that's currently serving should be reappointed with no issues. Just be watching your email for updates from Tyler Sloan. The next is update on the ALTED survey, the survey that we all worked together to change. It's been tested, approved, and it opened at 7 o'clock this morning. So we'll see how it's received, I suppose, today. So far, one LEA has opened it. So I anticipate a lot of questions because it's so different. And office hours are starting immediately after this meeting. So we have lots of office hour options for them if they have questions. The other item is the transition plan that we all worked on together. That has been comms approved and added to TDOE resources, and it's also linked in that survey document. So if they want to use that as their transition plan, they can. It's optional, but hopefully they'll move to that. If not now, then maybe next year, so that there's a uniform process for the state. That's my hope. The biggest item today is I want to take a look at our bylaws. They've not been updated since 2008. And I met with our legal team, Courtney Boykin and Chandrea Hersey, to go over this. And I'd like to just take a look at them today, not make any changes, but get your input and suggestions for changes, as this would be something we would look at in the fall when we reconvene. But I'm going to turn this over to Chandrea just for her to give some background and an explanation on important points and procedures for changing those bylaws. Chandrea.
Thanks, Leslie. Hi, everyone. I'm Chandrea Hersey. I want to just share a few kind of guidelines as you guys are conducting your conversation today with revisiting the bylaws. Courtney and I have spoke to Leslie a couple of times about just whether or not this body constitutes an open meeting under our state's Open Meeting Act, and just kind of what the structure of those conversations could be. We did determine, because this body has the authority to make recommendations to our Commissioner of Education, that you all would qualify as a body that serves as an open meeting. So one thing that we want to share with you all in these discussions is that we want to keep these discussions kind of confined to our meetings. So avoid any substantive discussions about the bylaws outside of today's meeting, or meetings where we may discuss these in the future, or any attempts to develop a consensus outside of the meeting as well. So that would be, any conversations with other individuals a part of the council, just kind of keep those confined to the meeting itself, as opposed to discussing those outside of these sessions. Also, just be cautious about email communication, phone calls, in-person meetings, or other forms of communication where the bylaws may be a topic of conversation. I think those are the major just guidelines for today's discussion. I'll go ahead and pass it back to Leslie, and if there are any questions that may require some legal input, I'll try to support throughout.
Andrea, I'm just going to start at the beginning and take this section by section. And if anyone has suggestions or ideas on how we could improve this or update it, please feel free to jump in and share. The purpose of this council is to advise, assist, and consult the governor, Commissioner of Education. We know that none of that purpose is going to change. That's defined by statute, so none of that section should be changed. Authorization should not be changed. Membership, these appointments are made by the governor for a term of 3 years, except during those initial appointments. And we know that was a big issue that we ran into. I think now that we're on track, though, this should flow more smoothly unless there's a lull in the council in the future. The council is composed of parents of children attending an alternative school, teachers, members, the community rep, the Educators Association rep. These also are required by statute, so there's not really a lot of changes we can do in that section. This part, the election, this is not, this could be something that we could work on, right, Chandrea, the election of the officers?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
But when we really delved into this, there's 3 offices, the chairperson, the vice chairperson, and the secretary. And looking at that, we didn't really see a need to revise that. I think it was pretty straightforward. And when we compared it to other boards, it was very similar. So I didn't really see anything in that. And it's determined by a simple majority vote. I think that was good. Does anyone see anything in that section that needed changed? I think we came together pretty much saying that one was good. Duties of the officers: the chairperson of the advisory council presides at the business sessions. I think we're good for that one too. The vice chair will be there in the absence. The secretary will do the minutes. And I'm fine with the executive secretary still doing the minutes and sharing that with the appointed or the elected secretary of the council. We didn't see anything in the duties. The executive secretary, I don't want to spend all the time just reading this to you. And it may be something that you want to review. And if you come across something that you think later might be a good idea, you can share that with me and we can discuss it when we re-meet again to go over this, because we'll have to meet as a council, discuss the changes and then vote on those, correct, Chandrea? So we have plenty of time to review it. There are 10 members on this council, and we would require a quorum of 6 to conduct business. So I think that's good. That's just simple majority. This one, the public notice, we kind of talked about this. All meetings are open to the public. Anyone who wishes to observe those is welcome. The notice will be served to the general public on the department's website, which is what we're currently doing. We'll work with the department's public information officer to ensure adequate notice. That is the thing that we had talked about might change. Notice is given 3 weeks. That I think that's fine to stay the same too, because once we have that initial meeting, all of the meetings for the year are online well in advance of the meetings. Public comment.
Leslie, and I'm sorry, I wanted to kind of go back to the public notice section. Do you want to share a little bit more details about why that sentence about the executive secretary will work with the department's public information officer may need to change? To share a little bit more details with the group.
Yes. Right now, we're doing that through the comms process, and it goes to our FPO department, and then they share it out. Like, I'm not sure that there is a public information officer assigned anymore. Like, when this was written, I think that was the procedure. Is there more? Sorry.
I'm sorry, my microphone was muted, but no, I think that summarizes it well. No, thanks, Leslie.
So I think the process for that has just changed over the years so that it doesn't coincide with the original language. Like the way this process works now, I submit it to comms. They submit it for posting on the website. So it doesn't actually go through a public information officer anymore. This public comment section, I think we didn't make major changes to this. It's still open for general public to make a statement if they want to. They need to make notice a week in advance, limit it to 10 minutes, and then a 2/3 majority must be present to make any action based on that. And no more than 4 statements. I think that's fine. Don't see any major changes there. When we come down to the minutes and the report section, this final reports recommended must be approved prior to delivery to the commissioner. We're still doing that. That's going through comms process, and then it goes through legal, so that won't change. Hopefully this year I'll be able to share it with you guys before it's actually printed. We won't be at a deficit like we were last year, and it'd be crunch time. So that survey is closing on June 30th, so I should have the report in good time to share it with you, discuss it with you before we publish it. Tie vote, that doesn't really change. This is the comment about changes to this document that says we would have to have a 2/3 majority vote to make any changes, and we won't be doing that today. We'll hopefully do that in our first meeting of next year, but it may be pushed to the second depending on if there are a lot of things. Oath of office, that doesn't change, and I think that's it. So when we really delved into it, there weren't a lot of things, just some update to language, and then some things that said, mail delivery, we would change to be email delivery. Does anyone see anything in that they think needs attention? And I know it's very short notice to review it. You can take all summer. If you come up with something, send me an email, and then we'll get it together for voting on in our upcoming council meetings. Chandria, is there anything else you think I need to add there?
I don't think so, Leslie. I think, as you mentioned, the section that would require, or that we discussed previously, that may require changes is just the section regarding the council officers and how those officers are put in place. And I think just sharing the link with everyone so they have access to these minutes. These are available online, you all, on the department's website.
Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the TAEA conference. Scott and I have both made plans to attend, and I'm just kind of curious to know who else from the council is going to be there and if you'll be there as a presenter or not. So is there anyone on here that has registered to attend that?
I haven't registered, but our team plans on attending. I'm working on that with our central office folks.
Are you presenting, Josiah, or just
I haven't put anything together yet.
Okay. We haven't either. We plan to just go as attendees, but I was just curious. Is there anyone else on here that plans to attend?
I'm going to try to attend. We've got some issues with travel we're concerned about locally, but I've always attended in the past, so I'm hopeful that I can come. So, and I wouldn't be presenting.
Okay. This will be my first one there, so I'm not real sure what to expect, but I do plan to attend, and I know that Scott plans to attend. Okay, well, that covered all of our major topics. In closing, I want to select our date for the first meeting of next year today. I've looked at 3 dates, and those are August 5th, that's a Tuesday, Wednesday, August 13th, and Tuesday, August 19th. All of those would be from 9 to 11. So if you guys have a minute to look at your calendar, and we'll just start with the first one. Are there any conflicts with Tuesday, August 5th? if we really get lucky enough to get the first one.
I think I'm good for that.
I think I'm good as well.
That works for me.
Wonderful. Okay, then we'll.
Well,
set
I'm
our-
gonna say I'm not sure because school will just be starting, so I'm not sure right now. So
We'll
me personally,
tentatively set that for August 5th. And then if we need to change it, we can. But I am going to share it to the website. But like I said, we've got plenty of time so we can change it if we need to. Again, I want to thank everybody. It's been a really awesome experience to work with all of you this year. And I'm looking forward to working with you on the upcoming year. And hopefully we can really dive into some technical assistance. Because I think that should be really the meat of what this council does. And we've been tied up in other things this year, but I feel like it's on a good track and we can move forward with TA now. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share in closing?
Just thank you to everyone who served this year. As others have said, I think it's been good that we've been able to pull everybody back together and accomplish the things we've accomplished this year.
Thank you. And I'll give you guys back a good portion of your morning. I hope you all have a good summer and I will see you in August.
see you in August.
Thanks, you guys. Bye.
See everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.